name is Rilwan Akeyewale, and I am the ninth child in a family of 19. So, the same way all of you are were like, that was the result I wanted to. So, because I needed to get their attention one way or the other, and it worked, and it's true. Okay, so I'm from a polygyny. I'm from a polygamous family, right? My dad practiced polygyny. We were like a lot of children. So, but a lot of us here, the story probably applies to us, but we'll be too ashamed to tell that story. That no, and say, but it's who you are. You understand? Make use of that story. Some of us here are like the first generation of university graduates in our families, in our entire generation. Some of us are the first people to ever graduate from a tertiary institute. Some of us are the first person to ever went beyond primary school. That's your story, that's an achievement. You understand? Tell your story, okay? So and then they were out, because I achieved what I wanted to achieve, so they were like, how is that possible? And then I reeled them in and reeled them. And it was like, well, yeah, my dad practiced polygyny, had 4 wives, and we were a lot of kids. But what that taught me, growing up is that, I grew up in a large family where there are different people with different characters, and different interests, and different goals. So from when I was young, I've been able to manage people better. I've been able to learn how to work in teams and all that, which I'm very sure that it will really help me here at K. And the rest, as they say, is history. So I got the job, and that was one of the very early times I understood the importance of my story. Okay. So I'll tell you another story. When I was still working with KPMG, it was my first time in Lagos. I didn't like Lagos. I still don't like Lagos. If you see me in Lagos, it's because it's very, very important. Maybe a client meeting, or I have some money to collect or something. So I prefer the cool ambience of Ilorin where I can. So I left Kaduna. I was working with an NGO in Kaduna. I went to Lagos when I got the KPMG offer, and my life became suddenly difficult overnight because I was staying. How many people were very familiar with Lagos terrain and everything? I was staying at Yamipaja. My office was at VI. So if anybody knows that, it's like going from Ojo to Ilorin every day. Maybe it's even worse because maybe traffic will not even the traffic in Lagos alone is killing. So I'm Muslim, so I had to do my Fajr prayer, right? So I had to wake up like 4:30. No, I had to wake up 4. And I have to be on the road by 4:30 because that will allow me to get to VI maybe around 5:30, and so I'll do Fajr. But if I should leave any later than that, Oshodi people are already on the road. So you'll be in Oshodi alone like 2 hours. And then that's where you see people praying Fajr inside bus. The first few days I used to cry because I wasn't used to missing prayers and things like that. And then one of the other areas of my life that got affected was my laundry. So Mondays to Fridays, that was the story of my life. Sometimes because of the job demand of KPMG, sometimes Saturdays, right? And so even if I was home on Saturdays and Sundays, there was I wouldn't even be able to get out of bed to do any laundry. And if I wanted to give my clothes to the dry cleaners in my area, then they will ask for express payment because you're asking them to deliver it by Sunday so that I can go to work by. So my life was very difficult. I was using half of my salary to do laundry. So I found a solution to it, and I started a laundry service company. So what I did was I found I moved from Yanipaja first of all. I moved closer to Surulere, and then I found a company that does pick up and delivery. So that way I'll be able to, maybe during the week, maybe Monday or Wednesday, my clothes for that up to that day, I'll be able to pack it and leave it, so they'll come pick it up while I was at work, and then they'll drop it back on, But that was my problem that was solved. I knew that a lot of my colleagues still had that problem. So I just came up with a business name and called it Wash and Carry. And I designed the logo, just did the branding stuff and all that. And I started selling the service to my colleagues, my seniors, my partners, and all of them. So I struck a deal with the laundry and said, see, Oga, your shirt, you will wash it 300 naira. Give it to, let me wash it with you for 150 naira, okay? And then he agreed because so I was making money like a bandit. And then Tony application opened, and I applied in 2017, and I got the $5,000 grant, okay? And one of the stories that actually stood out in my application is the fact that I was able to narrate. So in my application, everything I just told you about Yanipaja and Oshodi and how I started the company and everything, I gave it to them like that. And like I told you, the people you'll be, whether you're applying for jobs, whether you're applying for growth, leadership opportunities, whether you're applying for conferences, fully funded, events outside the country or anywhere, it's humans that will be reading it and they can relate with it. So there's no need to form or anything, you understand? Just tell your story the way it is, Even if you're going to package it, make sure you're packaging the real thing, right? And I got that. So that's my second story. Still on Tony Elumelu Foundation. In 2019, 2020, I was in Egypt when the TEF they featured me in one of their articles. So when they were asking me, questions about myself and everything, I told them a story about myself, which is also true. You see, when I was very young, my dad is a trader in Ibadan. So he used to sell things, ewa, but not in bags, bags. Yeah, there is a popular market in Ibadan called Bodija Market. So my dad was one of the guys there, had many shops and all that. So as a kid, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I'll follow him in his pojo, to Bodija Market, and then there were always beans on the ground there because they were always sampling for customers, and then once they sample, they will, chook the bags of beans with something like this, like a chisel, and then they'll get a small sample out of it, and then they'll show, and then they'll throw it on the ground. And so after, when we were closing in the evening, I'll carry one broom and pack all those beans and go and sell it to one Yalakara, close to our house. So I knew how to make money from when I was young, and that story really resonated